Dragolets on the internet, Dragon21 here, and I am dying inside today. So lately somebody commented underneath my Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie videos, which are like 3 years old, I made when I first got into the Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde fandom, and I had just seen Inkpots make their own version of it, and I got inspired to take the torch and to carry it out to make a full-on episode series, a 10-episode series that followed Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie and what the heck happened. I also didn't like the ending of Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde, so I made a happy ending for Pinkie Pie. Spoilers! Now, I only posted 3 of the episodes on there, which you can see the 3 episodes nowadays. And the person who commented underneath kind of wanted to know the entire story. So I was like, alright, I'll just look on my old computer, because that's where it is, and I'll search for it. Guys, it was not there. I thought it was. It was not there. I downloaded it on my computer that I usually work with, but I deleted it because I wanted to save room. I wanted to have more room, and I thought, I'm probably not going to use this. Boy, was I wrong. So as promised, since I couldn't find it, I'm going to basically say what I can recall from 3 years ago of story. Now, if you have not seen the first 3 episodes, you're really gonna need to, so you know what's going up, because knowing simply the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story will not help you at all, because I did change some things about it. Yes, okay, we'll just get to it. So at this point of the story, if you watch episode 3, Miss Pinkie, yeah, that took 2 minutes just to explain my intro. Wow. Anyway, Miss Pie revealed herself to be Dr. Pinkie, and Rainbow is horrified at the fact that those two are connected. And here we go, episode 4 through 10. Alright. So Rainbow Dash basically at this point in time becomes, it kind of becomes, if I'm correct, Miss Fluttershy Pool. She's kind of helping her control herself, I think, getting her the medicine, basically getting deliveries for her of the different types of chemicals. And Miss Pie and Dr. Pinkie are just kind of having it out. If I'm correct, in the 4th episode, it starts with a rewritten version of Murder from the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde musical. It's cleaned up, of course, because I'm clean. And this goes on for a little while, this little mental torture, until finally Rainbow convinces Dr. Pinkie to tell the rest of the council, which is Twilight, Fluttershy, Rarity, Applejack, and those 2, about her problem, because she needs help. She seriously needs help. And so she does. And the moment that she starts to explain, the transformation is triggered, and she's freaking out. She runs to her room individually by herself, and she asks Dashy basically to chain her up, which she does. I very vividly remember me shouting of, Dashy, chain me! And she does. And Miss Pie comes out. And she is confronted by Twilight. I mean, everybody's there, but she's confronted by Twilight. And basically, Miss Pie taunts her, thinking, basically, do you really think you're gonna defeat me? And Twilight's like, you wanna bet? And so, Dr. Pinkie, with Twilight's supervision, start to work on a cure for Miss Pie, so she will be destroyed forever. Which, after weeks and weeks of work, they actually do find a cure for her. It's untested, but it's a very, very, very good, has a very, very, very good chance that it will work. However, the night that they discover this, they decide to try it in the morning since it's so darn late. And so Twilight, casually chains up Pinkie so she won't go anywhere, wake up as Miss Pie and go anywhere. And Twilight goes to her bed while Pinkie Pie pretty much sleeps on the floor. I didn't think that one out very much apparently, but whatever. However, apparently Miss Pie is rather smart because she wakes up in the middle of the night. She somehow lockpicks the lock of the chain. She grabs the formula for the cure. She goes to the fire and she throws it in the fire. And I distinctly remember her saying the liner, burn. I think it was like, burn papers burn or something like that. It was a 3-word sentence. So, Miss Pie goes back, re-changed herself, and lays down and says nothing had happened. Twilight and Dr. Pinkie wake up as if nothing happened. Apparently, Pinkie has no recollection of this at this very moment. And they go over there and they start getting ready to make it, and they can't find it anywhere. And then it strikes Dr. Pinkie that she immediately remembers what happened. She's like, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is so bad. And they talk like, oh shoot, what are we gonna do now? And Dr. Pinkie is like, well, Twilight, you have a great memory. Surely you can remember. And Twilight is like, yeah, I think I do remember. I'll write it down. And she does so. And by the way, in this scene, for some reason, Dr. Pinkie is not chained to anything, and I don't know why. Because somehow in that amok, Dr. Pinkie gets a pain, and she attacks Twilight. Like they already tackle each other. They go all out. Twilight wins, of course. And Dr. Pinkie she apologizes greatly. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And Twilight's like, it's alright, it wasn't you, it's fine. Eventually, at this point in time, they're just kind of looking at each other, I think. And finally, I think this is like the point that Dr. Pinkie cracks. She has had enough of Miss Pie's crap. And so she basically shakes her hoof towards the ceiling, and she says, basically, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Come out and fight me. I am not afraid of you anymore. Face me. Miss Pie shows up in an illusion, of course. She's not really there. But she can be seen by Twilight and Dr. Pinkie, and I think they confront each other. And in the midst of it all, the song Confrontation comes on, a cleaner version of Confrontation from the musical, and Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie basically have an all-out mental battle with each other. And this is just the distraction Twilight needs to go to her laboratory and fix the cure, the potion, whatever it is, for Pinkie, while she is basically distracting Miss Pie. And if you saw the Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie confrontation, this is also included in that storyline. Before the, can't you see it part, an object is seemingly thrown at Pinkie. And what this is Twilight running into the room, having the cure, throwing it at Pinkie, as if we're gonna kill her once and for all. Let's do this. It's the big moment in the number. Let's get this right. Come on, defeat her. And so Pinkie takes the potion, she drinks it, and the last keys of the song, if I'm correct, the last 30 seconds of the song is basically Miss Pie dying. I mean, they're both in pain because, they're coming back together. But they're basically just, in the last few 30 seconds of the song Confrontation, they're basically just talking to each other. And then when the last word, never, comes, Pinkie just flat out just faints on the floor. And then it fades to Twilight, back to Twilight, who was the one telling the story all along, saying that after a few days of a coma, Pinkie Pie woke up very well and she hasn't had any problems since. And apparently, Twilight was telling this to 2 little fillies. And they were like, oh, I wonder where Miss Pie is now. Thunder strikes. The door opened, thunder strikes. And there seems to be Miss Pie in the doorframe. The 2 fillies scream and they hide under covers. And who comes out of the doorframe is Pinkie Pie. She does have the top hat and the coat, however her hair is dripping wet, so she looks a lot like Miss Pie. However, her eyes are not just emerald green. And she basically says, "It's alright, little fillies, it's me." She shakes her head and she makes her hair all poofy again. She says, "See?" And they're like, "Oh, it's Pinkie." And she's like, "Don't worry, Miss Pie is long gone. She will never come back again. Not never, ever, never." And that was the end of Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie. Hilariously, I had like all kinds of plans for like a sequel and stuff, which is why all those like little episodes like Miss Pie's Thanksgiving and stuff was made. And for the first time in forever, sung by Pinkie Pie and Pinkamena, my little headcanon was that Pinkie Pie always had a split personality. Pinkie Pie was the more energetic, happy of the two, and Pinkamena was the more like depressed, slightly altered version of Pinkie Pie. A more calm version of her. More self-conscious, I think. However, when Dr. Pinkie took the potion, it shifted all the bad to Pinkamena's side, which made her evil. So by technicality, it was Dr. Pie's fault. So when she took the cure, it set everything back to where it should have been, and the song For the First Time in Forever was related to that, of Pinkamena finally being allowed to go into the world, but thinking, "Oh, I've done these horrible things, what are they gonna think of me at the gala?" And so things like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the one where Pinkie Pie basically says, "Hey, let's start over." That is also an aftermath of Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie, because, Pinkamena has a good reason to be mad at Pinkie for basically making Pinkamena evil. If I'm correct, I was gonna make a sequel of it. I'm not gonna make it now because I've lost all inspiration for it, but I'll basically tell you what it is. It's, and this was kind of established through the I'm the bad guy thing I did. There was Dr. Pinkie and Pinkamena, the good ones, and somehow Pinkamena still exists. And she tries again to do some evilness. I don't remember what it was, but it was. I remember once I wanted to do an animatic and a cover of The Prince of Egypt, The Plagues, except it was all about Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie, which I never did. Kind of regret it, because it would have been epic. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that sort of thing. That's the ending of Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie, and an end of new chapter. And let me tell you that Dr. Pinkie and Miss Pie gave me a springboard for Father Jekyll, because I was already comfortable in the universe. I knew how the people kind of acted. I knew how the world operated, so it was a nice little practice for me beforehand. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. DP1 OUT.